Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I just want to start off by saying if you hate my fucking guts, please don't watch this video because it's not helpful to see your comments down below at all. You have no idea what it's like to work in a hospital. So I had a few comments on some of my other videos when I went into hospital with I had a pinched trapped nerve in my neck, and everyone was saying that I was completely invalid for being there and that I was wasting the NHS money and I shouldn't be using ambulances when it could be someone that needed one for a cardiac arrest. So basically and I'm going to get onto the story in a minute. I don't know what I'm going to title this, but so basically what happens is you either ring 111 or you ring 999. It's always been this thing where if you are in pain and you can't cope at home, come into hospital. That's always been the thing that they say. If you are not coping well at home, come into hospital. That's what the hospital have always said to any patient. Don't suffer at home when we can help you. That is why we're here as a hospital. We are here to help you. If you are suffering and you cannot help yourself at home, please come and see us. We don't want people suffering at home in pain. Okay, so if you call an ambulance, they put you on a priority. So it's like category A, B, C, and I think U. I don't know what U stands for. Anyway, I should probably know that because I do work in the ED department. And so basically I rung 111 and they weren't picking up. I rung 999. I was laying on the floor. I was in excruciating pain. I couldn't move a millimetre. If there was £1,000 on the floor, I could not get it. And you know me, like I love money. So £1,000 on the floor, I would not be able to get it. I couldn't move like this much off of my pillow without screaming. I've never had a pinched nerve. I will never want to have a pinched nerve ever again. And my doctor actually said to me in the hospital, I've had a pinched nerve. I'd rather have kidney stones, so I know exactly what you're going through. So when you ring an ambulance, they put you on a priority, and they said, we're really quiet today, so they'll be with you in about 10 to 11 minutes. However, if there's someone that's more of a priority, they will be, so rather than like driving to you, they will then be escorted to, they'll be diverted, sorry, to a different house, and then another ambulance will be called and I'll be second on the list, which is fine because I wasn't heavily bleeding. I wasn't having any breathing issues. It was just the pain. So they also categorize it as I'm in pain, but I can do regular activities. I can do all my normal activities without the pain stopping me, or my pain is so severe that I cannot even lay there and watch telly or sit on my phone, and like the category that I was in was it has stopped me from doing every single thing. I cannot get up and hoover. I cannot sit there and watch my phone like this. I can't watch a YouTube video. So it's stopping me doing every single thing. And that is when you call an ambulance, because that is very, very serious. Anyway, this is why I'm saying, like, if you fucking hate my guts, please don't watch this video because you will just not get where I'm coming from. So anyway, that was that story. If you guys have watched that video, if not, I've just literally summed it all up in about 30 seconds. So I got there and they gave me a whole load of painkillers, and I seem to have a bit of like an opiate resistance. So I was like, they were just like injecting me with stuff, and it was just like not working. So they then gave me diazepam, which is a muscle relaxant, and I ended up going to see my physio. They managed to get me in really quickly. I think there was like some sort of like cancellation or something. They were like, oh, I can get you in on Monday. And I was like, oh my God, like this is amazing, thank you. And she said, your left kind of like muscle where your neck is so much higher than your right side, which isn't damaged. She said, when you feel it, it's hot, it's inflamed, and my blood results, I think, had inflammatory markers or something. Anyway, so let's fast forward 2 weeks. You saw me on the video, high as a kite, talking really slowly like this and in a really good mood and like completely away with the fairies. Still able to do stuff like, but not drive a car. But still able to parent, cook and, you know, whatever, clean. So that was fine. And I feel really, really stupid by even making this video, and I didn't know whether I was going to make it. But the reason I am making it is because if this can just help at least like 1 or 2 people, then I feel like I'm doing my job. So basically, I got addicted to these drugs. My body felt like it needed these drugs. I was taking literally all the drugs all at the same time, and they were prescribed. So I had tramadol, cocodamol, which is Zapane, diazepam, naproxen, all of those. Okay, taking them all together, it's actually quite a deadly concoction. It can make you really poorly. But I was in pain, and I seemed to have a bit of an opiate resistance. And even taking tramadol, I can still drive and things, not on diazepam, but the rest I can. It doesn't really seem to affect me. I mean, some people say like, oh my God, tramadol. I start seeing people at the end of my bed when I take that. And I was like, oh, that's funny, because like I never really had that. And I didn't. And after 2 weeks of taking the pills, making sure I had like at least like a 4 to 6 hour gap in between, so I didn't overdose, because it's like really bad for your kidneys and that, and your liver. I stopped taking them because I didn't need them anymore. Like my neck was feeling better. I was able to like move it, and I was like, oh my God, like look at me, I can move my neck now. I feel so grateful. That was like such a dark moment when I was like in the hospital, having to use like the bed button to like sit to the head of the bed up. So I was just like able to like look around and be like, oh my God. And my female colleague, God bless her heart, having to put a puppy pad under my bum and a bedpan, and we're never going to be able to look at each other the same again, because that was that was a thing. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, I stopped taking the tablets and I went cold turkey, and I didn't need them anymore, so I stopped taking them. And what I didn't realise is that you're meant to wean yourself off. You can't just go cold turkey like that. You have to, rather than taking, I don't know, like 2 every 4 hours, you then go down to like 1 every 4 hours, and then you go down to like half every 4 hours, and then you kind of slowly wean yourself like that. Now, I felt really stupid because in all the 14 years that I've been an HCA, I never knew that. And the reason why I call myself an HCA, not an healthcare support worker, HCSW, is because one time a patient's family member said to me, oh, are you a healthcare support worker? And I was like, oh yeah, you know, I've been doing it for many years now. And she went, oh, I used to do that, but you know, it's just basically like I used to call myself like a healthcare SHIT worker. And I was like, oh, you just said that to me, thanks for that. So that didn't make me feel too good. But anyway, I'm really like floating around the situation of what I'm trying to say. So I went cold turkey on these tablets, and the next day I was fine, because basically what the medications do is, as you metabolize them out of your body, they have like a half-life, so you will still be getting some of the effects from it, but just kind of like half. And I felt fine, there was no issues. I went to bed that night and I had the most excruciating tummy stabby pains ever, and I was like, oh my God, like what the hell is this? Have I got like a bug? Like what the hell's going on? And in the morning, I don't even know how to say this gracefully, I was on the toilet doing the most very unladylike things, and I was like, whoa, what the hell have I eaten? But I hadn't eaten much that day, and I also hadn't like been around anyone that had a bug or anything. I knew that this wasn't a bug. I knew that this was different. I felt it. I knew it was different. It was, the pain was not coming from my stomach. It was like all in my gut. And I was like, there's something, like, I know that there's something wrong. I felt nauseous, but it was more kind of the other. So I was like, whoa, that was kind of weird. And it was only just like a bout or two, and then it kind of like stopped, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. So I kind of went about my day doing my normal things, and then it got to about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, and I had my fan. So I've got one of these fans. Oh my god, we're already on 10 minutes. So I have one of these fans, and I turn it on a lot. I have it with me a lot because I'm quite a warm person, and I started to feel like really hot, and I was like, oh Jesus Christ, oh my god, I'm like really, really warm. And the next minute I'm like the only way I can describe it is when I've got a temperature, like I feel like I need to like stretch my legs out like really, really, really tight, and then like I'm going really, really hot and cold. And the only thermometer I had was this little fucking Peppa Pig thing, right? Not ideal. So basically, I couldn't work out what was going on, and I did like Matt was at home at the time, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm like going like really hot and cold. I'm like, are you ill? And he was like, no. And the kids were fine. And I was like, okay, it's just me. I don't know what's going on. Because normally if it's a bug, like everyone has it in the household. And I was like, okay, like this is awful. I feel like trash. What's going on? And I was taking paracetamol and ibuprofen just to kind of like try and bring my temperature down. It was like 38.4 or something. I don't know, whatever this fucking this little fucking forehead thing said. That was the only thing I could find, or like be well enough to try and like get out of bed and find. So all night I was going hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. I hadn't slept. The next day Matt had to go back to work, and I was absolutely beside myself. The kids were off, so this was now Saturday. This was a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm feeling like awful. And the kids were like, do you want anything? Like, do you want me to get you anything? Do you want a Red Bull? I was like, oh god, no, like don't even get me about just like tiniest like sips of water. I managed to drink, I think, about a litre in total, but I felt so dry, and my kidneys were hurting because I was like so dehydrated from all the explosions going on in the bathroom. I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I feel like I've got flu, but at the same time I don't know what's wrong. And I googled, you can Google too if you don't believe me, withdrawal side effects of tramadol. And I was like, yep. Oh my god. So I was then like, shit, I have got withdrawal. Oh my god, I am a druggie, and I've only been taking these fucking meds for 2 weeks. So yeah, I was like, okay, well, this is just wonderful, isn't it? So I tried to ride it out, and my parents came round and they helped me because I was like really, really upset, and they came round and they helped me tidy and clean and like get the kids like, come on kids, let's do this. Because I was at home like, oh my god, like I'm so hot, but I'm so cold. And so it might sound really pathetic, but ever since I can remember, from maybe like 4 or 5 years old, whenever your memories first start, I've always had a phobia of vomit or being sick. And it's just followed me through my whole life. I don't know why, and I remember it distinctly when I went around my stepmom's house when we used to go and visit her in Gloucester. I remember like feeling very like homesick and like physically sick, and like whenever my dad would read us a storybook, there was like this little girl that went to a party and ate too much jelly and ice cream and was sick, and I was like, oh, I can't read that, but can we please not read that? Like really like irrational, fears. So, and I've also obviously I suffer with anxiety and stuff as well. So, it's laying it out all on the table for you. So it got to about 2 o'clock and I was beside myself. I was like rocking in bed, and these stabbing pains in my stomach. I was going hot and cold. I was like shaking. I was like feverish. My heart, I could like feel my heart racing. And I was like, right, I'm really winding myself up by being here, and I don't know what to do, but I know that I just need to go into hospital and just speak to someone and just get some advice. I rang 111 and they were like, get yourself to hospital because you've come off your medication too quickly and you can go into seizures and stuff. So like, where are you now? Have you got children at home? I can hear a little one in the background. How old is your little one? And they seemed quite concerned. And I was like, oh no, maybe I should be concerned. Like, ah. So they were really, really nice. And I was like, I feel like I'm wasting their time, but at the same time, I'm so poorly. So I dropped the kids off at Matt's work, and I literally like drove myself, and I had like the air conditioning fans like blowing at me, and I had to like pull my seat right forward, and luckily I've got a an automatic, so I don't need to change gear. But I was just literally like, concentrate on the road, get to work, concentrate on the road, get to work. And I've got a badge that swipes me in for free on the weekends, so I managed to park for free, got my sorry ass into ED, and I literally was like holding my bag. This is my bag, and I was like, hello, please help me. And they were like, oh my god, Corin? I was like, yes, it's me, just please help me. And I was like absolutely a mess. And the frustrating thing actually is when people say to me, oh, it's my mama and me. I don't know where this picture was found, but it's nice. So I'm going to put you there and you can listen to my story, mum. What disaster. So yeah, I was like shaking, and I'm going to really try not to get emotional in this video because I was really, really upset. So basically what happened, and I'm really sorry this story is going to be like 25 minutes long. So basically I got there and I said, look, I work here. And they were like, yeah, I know, I recognise you. You look very different. I was like, I don't feel very well. Please help me. And I said, look, by complete accident, I've gone a bit cold turkey with my painkillers because I was here 2 weeks ago for my neck. I've now stopped taking them, and I'm now having these horrible withdrawals, and please help me, I'm not a druggie, please help me. And I'm like shaking like this, and they're like, oh, Corin, don't, I'm like, I'm not a druggie, like, please, I'm not a druggie. And they're like, oh, Corin, like, you're fine, come on through. So they sat me down, and at my work, they give you like, they write down like a quick little like scenario of what's going on. So it was like withdrawal of, you know, medications. Put it into the triage nurse called my name, and then she was like, oh my god, babe, how are you? And I was like, please help me, I feel really stupid being here. And she's like, come on, tell me what happened. And I explained that I'd come off my medication cold turkey, and she said, Corin, you have not, we see this more than you think. And I was like, really? Because I feel like I'm the only one and I feel like an idiot. And she was like, Corin, we see, she said that she had a lady come in who'd had a hip operation and had been on medication for like 3-4 weeks, and she'd gone home with paracetamol and then had to come back in because of all these like horrible withdrawal symptoms. She said, Corin, we see it, we do see it a lot. So she was like, hun, your pulse is really fast. I'm going to get them to do an ECG because my pulse was about 138 and normal range is between about sort of 60, which is kind of on the bradycardic side, and kind of 80, kind of like 55 to kind of 85. Like that's a good sort of range. And mine was like 138. So I sat down again. They did an ECG on me. My heart was very fast, and I sat in the waiting room for about 2.5 hours because it was quite busy. But I was fine with that because I knew, you know, everyone has to take priority. There was 2 people that came in after me, and after a while, I got called to have my obs reading again, observations done, because they have to do it every like half an hour. Sorry, I'm getting really warm. Still got a bit of a temperature now. I hope that's not too loud. So I went in and got my obs done, and my pulse was still fast, and I said, you know, hi, I'm staff here. I'm just wondering if any doctors picked me up yet. And they said, oh, you seem to be the only one that has not been picked up. So basically what I mean by being picked up is your name comes up on the system when they book you in, and then as soon as you are booked in, a clock starts next to your name. So it tells you how long that you've been in the department, in like the waiting room, and then you move departments as you go through the hospital depending on how poorly you are. So I was in the waiting room, and in order to go through to the next bit, a doctor has to assign themselves to you, and I was the only one that didn't get assigned. And I knew why, because there isn't that many drop down menus on the thing, because I've worked on the computers there. So basically, if someone comes in and they say, oh, I've got like lower I've got like abdo pain, it's not like just abdo pain, it can be like lower, what does it come up as, like lower body pain or something, which can include like your legs, your feet and everything, like, because they can't have every single, like, left eye pain, right eyelash fell out, like they can't have that many drop downs because you'd just be scrolling for hours to find what you wanted. So mine was withdrawal, but it came under like drug, is it drug, it was like drug overdose slash drug withdrawal slash alcohol or something. I can't remember what it said, but it didn't sound very nice anyway. And I know that you shouldn't prejudge, you know, as a member of staff. And I just felt like, and I know that I'm just overreacting possibly, but you know, when you're like in that much discomfort, and I was like sat in the chair and I was like crossing my legs and like I was like so uncomfortable, and like my lower back, my kidneys were fucking aching and my stomach was like stabbing, and I was like so beside myself like this, and I was not presenting very well. And there was people like next to me, like husband and wife, like chatting away, like, and then there was at one point where the husband was like, oh, we've got some sandwiches here, Deirdre, not her real name, got tuna mayo, oh, anything dear, chicken mayo, just anything, ham, cheese and pickle, anything dear, it's fine. Oh, okay, well, chicken mayo sounds quite nice. And I'm just like, they're just chatting away like there's nothing wrong with them, and I'm just there like sweating, like I'm in pajamas that somehow had a hole in, I don't know why. I was in like one of my like bralette, Calvin Klein bralette things, and then just like a hoodie, like a wraparound hoodie, and I was just like, and yeah, so that was great. And the two people that got picked up, they went seen, and then the triage nurse came out and said, have you not been seen yet by a doctor, hun? And I was like, no, and I really need help, like I'm trying not to fuss, but please just, I'm very happy to wait. I know, I understand that like I'm not an emergency, you know, this is how I was presenting. So I'm like, I'm trying not to be too dramatic, but at the same time, like I really don't feel very well. And they were like, oh my goodness, like why are you being so hard on yourself? And I was like, because of the fucking comments I get on YouTube, innit? So yeah, so I got taken back. A doctor picked me up, called my name, and I was like, oh my god, like thank you so much. And she did, she took my blood and she put a cannula in. I don't know if you can see there, like a nice little bruise. Took some blood, did a blood gas. Then they wanted to test my urine, and it was positive for ketones and it was positive for high pH. So they sent that away. My bloods came back. There was something wrong with my bloods, and yeah, and my urine and my heart rate. So it was really fast. And I said, you know, I don't want to be wasting your time. And she was like, Corinne, like you're not wasting our time. Like if you can't cope at home, you are more than welcome to come in, and even after today, if we can't make you feel better, you can come in tomorrow and we'll just start all over again, and until we get you better, because that's what we're here for. We are the hospital and we are here to make you better. And I was like, oh, thank you so much, like you're just so kind, like thank you so much. And she said, I'm not just saying it, like this is what we do, like this is our thing, like we are a hospital, we make you better. We have people coming in that are much less valid, we still, you know, look after them, but so I was validated for being there, which was really, really nice. And I felt like a piece of shit. And of course, when you've got like no makeup on, you're sweating, like you've sweated all your deodorant off like hours ago, because obviously I was here like with my little like fan, and I was just like, oh my God, when was the last time I put deodorant on? Because I like to be like quite a clean person. I don't like to be a sweaty mess. But I seemed to turn up that day to the hospital looking like a sack of shit. And of course, all of the staff were on that I knew, and they were like, oh my God, you look awful. I'm like, thank you. And they gave me a drip and they gave me paracetamol, and it did make me feel better, but I was still very dry in my kidneys. And the doctor eventually called me through and said that my not infection markers, my other markers had come up slightly raised, and my urine was, there was something wrong in my urine. And she said there is something going on. And she said, you know, we do see it a lot with withdrawing from prescription medication. We also see people withdrawing from alcohol and alcoholism. She said, how much do you drink a week? And I said, well, I haven't drunk in 3 weeks because I've had my neck issue. So I've been on really strong painkillers. But normally I go out, I've cut it down. I used to go out like twice a week. Now I go out about once a week. And I'll have about 8 single vodka lemonade limes. I said, does that sound like a lot? And she was like, no, that doesn't sound like a lot at all. I have people come in, they're like way more than you. I was like, okay, fine. I then drove home and I was feeling really emotional, and I will just play you a video that I sent to my parents because I felt really, really hopeless and really sad.
Hello, this is going to be a bit of a teary message. Everything's fine. I really appreciated your help when you came round today. I just got the kids helping because no one was helping at all and no one was looking after me. And I just got home. And
this is a bit where I slag Matt off. So, yeah. And actually, I sent a message to my friends and he said, Corinne, that's fucking heartbreaking. I've never heard you like that. And I was like, I don't cry very often. But oh God, my fan's turned off. I'm going to get into a sweat. I felt really sad that I wasn't picked up. And there was people before me that got picked up before me. And assigned a doctor, and I knew it was because it came up with like drug withdrawal and no one wants to deal with that. And then when the doctor picked me up and I explained what happened, she was like, it's fine, like it's, you know. Sorry guys, we're like 26 minutes in now. But to round up the story, basically, if anyone is on really strong painkillers, please don't suddenly come off them. And don't do what I did. And if this video helps at least one person, then I've done my job. So I'm not going to say thumbs up this video and subscribe to me because I don't think that feels appropriate at the moment. I am still on the come down from the medication. My stomach is stabbing so bad, and I feel a lot better than I did. But the doctor said it does take a few days for like everything to get out of your system, and then you will start to feel better. So yeah, that's my little story, guys. I know that there will be a lot of people watching this that will be like, oh my God, she's using the NHS again, like blah, 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 blah. But I promise you, we have people come in to the emergency department every 4 days sometimes because they've like swallowed something or inserted something or fallen on something, and you see the regulars that come in, and all they do really is asking for help, like, and we give it to them because that's what they need, and we don't send people off, you know, obviously unless they're not really that valid to be there. Like, oh yeah, I saw this funny sketch. I think it was like a TikTok. I haven't got TikTok anymore, but I think it came up on like my YouTube Shorts or something. And it was this guy, and he's like, hi, welcome to the ER. How can I help? And he's like, hi. And he's like, what seems to be your problem? And he's like, I've got a headache. I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you say your pain is? And he goes, 10. And the ER doctor goes, 10. And he goes, yes, 10. And he goes, okay, let's pretend that someone came in here and chopped your arm off with a chainsaw. What scale would you put you at then? 10. And he goes, okay, so now knowing that, going back to your headache pain, what would you now score it? 9.5. So we get people like that a lot, and to them and to us, everyone's pain is individual. So if someone comes into me and says, I'm out a 10 out of 10 out of pain. So for me, 10 out of 10 pain would be like, how would you present? So it would be like sweating, like breathing, like your body language would be kind of like contorted. You may have your head in a sick bucket. You would be like calling out, moaning. You wouldn't just be sat there like laughing at a YouTube video and being like, ha, oh, there's the doctor. Oh, my stomach. Oh, do you know what I mean? But we get all sorts. We do really get, I promise you, we get all sorts coming into ED. But we don't judge. We just look after them. And in fact, it's not the people coming into the ED department that costs the money. It's actually, if you get admitted to hospital, I think, well, it used to be about £185 a night, or a day, sorry, to look after that person and feed them and have the doctors look after them and stuff. I'm pretty sure that figure was about like 7 years ago, so it's probably like tripled by this point. But yeah, it's not the going into hospital bit, and sitting in the waiting room and, you know, getting lines of fluid and stuff that's the expensive bit for the NHS. It's admitting you into the hospital and you getting a hospital bed. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to go now. This video is just hit 30 minutes. And I didn't mean for it to be this long. I didn't know if I was going to make this video. And I've had 2 hours and 45 minutes sleep today because I've been up again with these stomach pains. I've been up all night and then I've had a nap. And I think I napped for about an hour and a half and woke up in a sweaty mess. So yay for that. So yeah, if you've ever had anything like this, please leave it down below. If not, again, if you're going to leave a nasty comment, I will just be removing them. So there's no point. And it actually helps the algorithm of my video get seen by more people. So you're literally wasting your time by doing that. But yeah, I don't want to say like I hope you enjoyed my story time, because like don't enjoy my my illness. Like, don't enjoy that. But yeah, I hope that this helped some of you, and I will see you in my next video, when hopefully I'm not exploding in the bathroom and I'm not getting really, really bad stomach pains. And yeah, see you in my next video. Bye guys.